What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to cover what you guys can possibly expect from NIO Day tomorrow, and then I'm also going to go over whether NIO is a buy right now at this $30 share price. But quickly, I want to show you guys where NIO is actually trading right now, and they're currently up about 1.2%. Early on in the trading day, they were actually down to about 28.30 right after the market opened, and actually right now the entire market is down about 0.5% when we look at SPY. And so I think it's good to see NIO actually climbing up despite the entire market being slightly in the red today. And of course, I think one of the bigger catalysts is actually the fact that NIO Day is tomorrow. If you guys are planning on tuning into the live stream, it's going to be on NIO.com, and it's going to be held at 7 p.m. Beijing time, or for most of my viewers who are in the US, 3 a.m. Pacific time, 5 a.m. Central Standard Time, or 6 a.m. Eastern Time. And typically the event lasts about 90 minutes. But if you guys aren't going to be actually watching the live stream, I'll be making a video on Monday covering exactly what happened, and we'll see how the share price is affected on Monday, and maybe how it's going to affect NIO over the next few weeks, depending on what NIO actually announces at the event. Now, there are a lot of analysts that think that this NIO Day event could jolt NIO stock and bring them back to life. And one of the big reasons for this is because NIO is actually poised to unleash a new electric vehicle. So right now, none of this is actually confirmed until we see the event tomorrow and see exactly what NIO announces. But as of right now, people are speculating that the ET5 is going to be released, and we're going to get all the details behind that vehicle. And for those of you who don't know, this is rumored to be a smaller version of NIO's flagship ET7 sedan, which was officially revealed last January during their NIO Day event of 2020. And the reason why it was in January was because of delays due to the sickness, and this year they didn't want to put it off again, they're just having a smaller event. Now, if you guys remember Edison Yu, he actually works for Deutsche Bank. In a note on Wednesday, he predicted that the ET5 is going to be NIO's most affordable and their highest volume EV yet. By 2023, he expects the ET5 to outsell their larger counterpart, and he's estimating 65,000 deliveries that year versus 60,000 for the ET7. Now, in part, this is because Edison Yu believes that this is going to start in the low range of about $46,000 per vehicle. Now, when you compare this to the ET7, which is going to start deliveries in the first few months of 2022, that sedan is currently priced at about $55,000 to $78,500. It's also expected that the ET5 is going to take on rivals in the mid-size premium segment, and this does include the Tesla Model 3 in China, as well as the BMW Series 3 and the Audi A4. Right now, the made in Shanghai Model 3 starts at about $40,000 after discounts. And so if the ET5 starts at $46,000, and then on top of that you add in discounts and tax incentives, it could be competing in that range of about $40,000 where the Model 3 is currently at. Now, on top of this, NIO also plans to release 3 new EVs in 2022. We already know about one of them, which is the ET7 sedan, and that was announced last January, and they're going to finally begin deliveries in the first few months of 2022, or at least that's what they've said. They said that they're going to start deliveries in the first quarter. So I guess we'll see if that actually happens, but I'm willing to bet that deliveries will begin in the first quarter. But this is actually coming at a pretty important time because NIO hasn't released a new product in over a year, and they're actually in need of a product refresh. But this still begs the question of what that third vehicle is going to be. If we already know of the ET7, and rumors are that the ET5 is going to be released, the only other thing right now that's rumored is the EF9, and that's going to be an electric vehicle that's a sports car equivalent. So it's going to be a more affordable option, and similar to the EP9, if you guys have seen the EP9, I believe it was the fastest electric vehicle produced at the time it was produced. Now, I don't know if it still holds that title, but the EF9 would be a similar vehicle and would be at a cheaper price and would be more affordable to everyday consumers. I think going into 2022, NIO definitely needs something to bring up their company and get more customers in the door. And I think if this ET5 is released tomorrow, and if it's at a decent price point, they are going to bring in more customers, and word of mouth is going to get around about NIO, especially if it is at that price point of about $40,000 to $45,000. Because with all the concerns around NIO right now, especially like the delisting fears, and not only of NIO, but XPeng and Li Auto as well, this is bringing kind of a bad rep around these Chinese companies, even if they actually have a lot of growth potential in the future. But one other thing to expect NIO to go over at the NIO Day event is discussions about their hybrid solid-state batteries and next-gen autonomous driving systems. Hopefully they get into more details about that and possibly release information about how soon they could get into autonomous driving and get those vehicles on the road. And then I would also figure that they're probably going to announce stuff about their expansion plans into Germany in 2022. 2022 because they actually entered the international market with the ES8 SUV in Norway, and that was in September. And right now it seems like they have a solid plan to enter Germany, and they've also mentioned possibly expanding into 5 other countries in 2022. So definitely something to look forward to. But now I want to go over whether NIO is actually a buy right now at $30 and whether this $30 price point is a good point to enter into NIO stock. As you guys know, NIO sunk over the past year by falling 35%. And despite the general rise in a lot of electric vehicle stocks, for example, Tesla having risen over 40% in the same period, to a lot of investors, NIO is really not looking too hot, and a lot of people have actually sold out of their positions, and they think that this is just a Chinese scam or some kind of Ponzi scheme. Now, you guys can think what you want, but when you actually look at the fundamentals of the business, the only concern I really see, and the only major concern, is the delisting possibility, and really, I think that that's not too big of a concern. As of right now, with everything going on and the Chinese government supporting NIO, and they basically want it to become a no-fail business, and they're promoting NIO, I don't see why NIO wouldn't continue growing, even though they have suffered a lot of considerable losses over the last year. It's hard to expect a lot from a company that's really just getting their feet on the ground, especially when you compare them to a company like Tesla. Now, I don't want to downgrade the possibility that NIO could become delisted. As you guys know, DD is also delisting from US exchanges, but I don't think they were originally supposed to list in the first place. Now, NIO is different, but there's still a concern that they're not going to allow audits and they're not going to have enough documents over a 3-year period to prove that they should be on US exchanges. So it is still a risk in the future, and there are people that think that these Chinese stocks could be delisted by 2024. Now, if you guys are concerned, I would make sure that you do your own research before you invest in NIO, because I would hate for you guys to invest money and then lose it if NIO did become delisted. Now, personally, I don't think that that's going to happen, but again, I'm just a YouTuber and I don't know exactly what's going to happen with this company. Make sure you guys only invest money that you're okay with possibly losing. But getting away from all this negative talk, despite all these risks, NIO certainly does have a lot of upside potential. For example, in the third quarter of 2021, they actually recorded nearly 24,500 deliveries, which was a 100% rise year over year. This meant that they had a total revenue in the third quarter which totaled $1.3 billion and a 116% rise year over year. And if we actually look at where NIO is valued right now, they currently have a market cap of about $46 billion. If we compare this to last February, they were almost double this, and right now this gives them a price to sales ratio of under 10. Now, when you compare this to a normal stock, this still seems pretty absurd, but it's pretty cheap when you compare them to other EV stocks. For example, Tesla, they currently have a price to sales ratio of around 20, and they're seeing far slower revenue growth as compared to NIO. Now, I'm talking specifically about the percentages and how quickly their revenue is growing based on where they are right now. I'm not saying NIO is growing larger than Tesla, they just have a quicker pace that they are growing at. But the reason for this higher valuation could be because Tesla has reached profitability and they don't have any Chinese worries like the delisting fears, but this still indicates that NIO may be cheap right now. Now, I wouldn't necessarily call them a no-brainer buy right now, but I think it's really tempting to buy in, especially if you've been following NIO for a while and you've never bought in, because I was covering NIO all the way until they ran up past $60, and now they're 50% of that trading price. So if you guys still have the same mentality and your research still points you to the same conclusion about NIO, I don't see why people wouldn't buy in at $30 if they still thought it was a sound and good company to invest in. But again, I'm not saying to invest because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just saying this in general about any stock. If you've been following a stock for a while and you think they're a sound and good company, of course there's reasons why a stock would drop by 50%, but the way I see it is buying in at a 50% discount when you were originally going to buy in when they're twice as high as right now. But again, make sure you guys do your own research before you buy into NIO. Don't just go based on what YouTubers tell you. Make sure you dive into these stocks and do the analysis and see if these are actually stocks you want to invest in. Now again, just as a reminder, for those of you who want to tune into the NIO Day event, you can watch it on NIO's website. At least that's where you could watch it in the past. I don't know if that's been updated or changed this year. But again, it's going to be at 7 p.m. Beijing time, 3 a.m. Pacific time, 5 Central time, and 6 Eastern time. So if you guys are planning on tuning into the event and planning on watching the whole 90-minute event, let me know down in the comments and let me know what you're most excited for. It could be anything from the release of the ET5 or to their expansion plans into Germany or anything else maybe you guys have heard about that NIO may be announcing at the NIO Day event. So again, let me know down in the comments what you guys are most excited for. Also, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like because it really does help out the channel. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you back here in the next one. Bye.